would you get the lights? I forgot to do that. Okay. Well, hopefully you can see this over. You guys might need to pull the shades down. It's showing up okay, but I think it'd show up better if the lights, the wisdom was illuminated. Okay, so yesterday we dealt with graphing linear inequalities. Graph a line, it needs to be either solid or dotted. So what was the rule for solid or dotted? Greater than or equal to solid, or less than or equal to is solid. Greater than, greater than or less than are dotted. Okay, and then we graphed the line and then we needed to shade. How did we determine how we shade?
0, 0.
Pick a point, not necessarily 0, 0.
Yeah, I had an issue with that one.
Yeah, there was one line where it went right through the origin and you can't use 0, 0, so you had to pick something else. Okay? 1, 1 would be okay? No, maybe not.
No, because it had to be y equals x or something.
Yeah, so if you have the line y equals x, you're going to have to pick something besides, so 1, 2 was a good choice. And you have to see if that works or not. Okay. I can't remember which one that was. 24? Yep, 24 it is. Okay. It's not really showing up very well. Hey Jess, you want to pull that shade behind you down too? I hate being on camera. That's a little better. Okay, I'll try to write in the middle. That might help. Alright, so were there any major questions that we needed to talk about? Okay, then we'll hand those in. I do not have staples. You can run to the office and ask them for some staples. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Today we're going to apply what we did yesterday. So we're going to put them in a kind of story problem situation. But I think you'll be fine. If not, we'll work through it. We'll figure it out. We're getting very close to the end of this chapter. As a matter of fact, today is the last section. Tomorrow we should review, and then Friday have a test. And then we come back from the weekend. We should probably start chapter 5, which is my favorite chapter of all. Factor. Yay. You liking it? Good. Very good. Okay, so are we ready to get started? There he is. Okay, so we're going to find some equations or inequalities and graph them. We're going to find the vertices of the shape, and then we're going to stick those vertice points into what they call a maximizing equation. It can mean how much money you make, it can mean how many points you earn on a test. So let's look at example 1. This is on page 193. It says you are taking a test in which items of type A are worth 10 points and items of type B are worth 15 points. So that is actually our maximizing equation. 10 times A is going to be the number of total points you get for those types of questions. And 15 times B is going to be the number of points you get for those types of questions. So this is your maximizing equation. This is what you use very last. Okay, it takes 3 minutes to answer each item of type A and 6 minutes to answer each item of type B, but you're only allowed 60 minutes. So 3 times A is how much time you spend on A questions, plus 6 times b, that's the number of time, how much time you spent on b questions. Did I say that right the first time? A questions, b questions. But the total time allowed is only 60 minutes. That means you can use less than or equal to the 60 minutes. You don't have to use all 60 minutes. But it'd probably benefit you if you did. You may not answer more than 16 questions. So the A questions plus the B questions has to be less than or equal to 16. Assuming all your answers are correct, how many items of each type should you answer to get the highest score? So some books call this linear programming, but basically you just plot the point, plot the line, shade, plot the line, shade, identify points where they meet, and then put those in your maximizing equation. So I think I might need to scale this a little bit, and I'm also going to restrict it to the first quadrant, because think about it. Can you make negative questions? Can you answer negative questions? No, so we're just going to keep everything positive. This is my A, this is my B. They go up by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They go up by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Now the reason I purposely did 16 is because I can do cover-up method here. If A is 0, B would have to be 16. If B is 0, then A could be 16. So I just kind of wanted to do that. I'd like a straight edge, but I don't think I'm going to find one. It's not too bad. Okay, and is 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 16? Yes, so now I'm looking at this part of my coordinate system. I'm going to do the next one in, not that green there, in green. If I do the cover-up method here, if A is 0, B would have to be 10. If B is 0, then A would be something I haven't grabbed. 18, 20. So I need to draw a line here. And is 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 60? Yes. I'm going to shade down.
Can you wait a minute real quick?
Sure.
I'm so behind.
Drawing the graph made you behind? Okay, sorry. Let me know when you're ready. I'm running out of room over here. Don't know why I decided I had to go all the way over to the edge, but I did. Okay, so I'm treating this like equality here for just a second. I want to know where the black line and the green line hit each other. And I could guess, but it's best probably to use one of my methods like elimination or substitution. So I chose elimination. I decided, hey, if I multiply this by -3 and add it to the top equation, Then I should be able to get rid of my A's and I can find my B's. So I multiplied everything by -3, lined them up. A's cancel out. I get 3B is, I'm just going to make it equal to for right now, whatever 60 minus 48 is, which I think is 12. And then divide by 3, so I know my B should be 4. Now, I'd go back in this equation. What plus 4 gives me 16? So my answer is 12. Now, I'm going to go back to the top and erase this a little bit. Remember I said that this was my maximizing equation? It means I need to go identify every single point on here and stick it in that maximizing equation. So I'd like to use a different color. There's purple. Let's see if that works. So I have, ooh, that's pretty nice. There, 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 and there. So I have 4 points to identify. The first one being 0, 0. Well, to be very honest, if you answer 0 of each type of question, what kind of score are you going to get on that test? 0. So that's going to give us a 0 plus a 0, which is going to be a big fat 0. Okay, so the next point we can name is maybe 16. You've gone over 16 but up nothing. So 16, 0. You've answered all of type A questions. And in the formula here, you have to take 10 times A, which would be 160, plus 15 times B, which is, 15 times B is, 15 times 0 is 0. So I get 160 for that point right there. Or the next point we identified as, 12, 4. That means I have to take 12 times 10, or 10 times 12, which is 120. And 15 times 4, which is 60. And 120 plus 120 plus 60 is 180. And then I have this last point, which is over 0 but up 10. So 10 times 0 is still 0. And 10 times 15 is 150. So now I have to choose which one is the biggest. So right here, answering 12 of type A and 4 of type B actually give you the best chance of getting the best grade on that test. Okay? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time working through these. I'm going to give you 2, and then I want you to review. I'm going to give you page 198 and 199. Why don't I just give you 199? They have one problem like this. Question number 2. Okay. Since I just went over one like that. So, homework-wise, we're going to review for a test and do maybe 2 problems like this, okay? So, on page 195, I want you to do question number 2. And on page 198 through 199, I want you to do questions 1 through 19. Check the odds. If you're not getting the odds right, we need to talk, especially if tomorrow's review for the test. Okay? So if you don't get it, we need to talk about it.
So it's due tomorrow.
Okay? It should be due tomorrow. Any other questions? Concerns?